Well, the Democrats and the liberal lamestream media have been losing their collective minds over President-elect Donald Trump's nominees for his cabinet for his second term. And at first I thought, who cares? Ignore them and let them whine and whinge online and on the news and whatever else. And then I quickly realized that, well, they're not going to stop because they're Democrats and they will keep going forever and will never quit until they get what they want. And even if there's a mandate by popular vote or a landslide, or it happened for them where they got all of their, nominees through for their cabinet, and they're going to make a big problem over everything that Trump does, of course. So there's a few that they have a big problem with, and honestly, it's kind of all of them, but I'd say there's three that are a major problem, and I want to go into them a little bit because I think that it's going to become a problem, and it has to be dealt with. It's something that Republicans can't just ignore. I thought at first maybe that was the way, but then I realized quickly, like I said, that I think I have to deal with it a different way, and kind of like a steamroll kind of way. And we're going to go over a couple of, well, those three members, and I mean, we can talk about Thomas Homan, who I thought was the first member who they were going to have a big problem with, which I'm sure they will, and they still do. But he kind of faded away a little bit once Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard and then Matt Gaetz got announced. And it's funny, they have a problem with all three of those, a big problem. And, I mean, I'm just going to show a couple of the things that the media has said about these three. And here's AOC talking to Joy Reid. We went over this on one of my other videos, but I think it's very pertinent.
And we haven't even gotten to Tulsi Gabbard potentially having access to national security information. And Russia loves it, loves her.
And I actually think almost more than Matt Gaetz, Tulsi Gabbard's appointment is devastating. And Tulsi Gabbard's nomination, as much as she says that she's an anti-war person, she's not.
Yeah.
She supports very pro-war individuals.
Including
abroad.
in Syria.
And let's be very clear, a Tulsi Gabbard nomination is a pro-war nomination globally. Point blank, period.
As is Donald Trump as president of the United States.
Of course.
And we have...
So I think, I said this before, I think I think AOC, Joy Reid's terrible, but I think AOC maybe didn't want to go after Matt Gaetz so hard, so maybe she just chose Tulsi stupidly and then said something really dumb. I mean, here's Tim. This is a post from Tim Young. He says, AOC tells Joy Reid that Tulsi is pro-war, so a stupid liar tells a stupid lie to a stupid lying racist. Just another Thursday night on MSNBC. Yeah, I don't know where she got this. I mean, Tulsi's anti-interventionalist, I'm pretty sure. She's talked about ending wars. They are trying to smear her about going to Syria. She's some kind of asset. They're calling her a Putin asset. It's absurd. It's incorrect. It's ridiculous. She was a Democrat. And, I mean, they just don't like her because she converted over. And you could say that she doesn't have experience in this role, but I think a lot of these people don't. And you could definitely say that about Joe Biden's cabinet, and which I will name off in a second, a whole bunch of gems from that, they have no room to talk from because they're all terrible. But anyway, the dumbest statement ever, and they really don't like Tulsi. And I heard Jonathan Gilliam today talking about her, and it kind of pissed me off because, look, I'm totally for having different opinions and having discussion and discourse within the Republican Party or within conservative groups, within your own faction, or you could say. I'm always open for that. Of course, the left is not. The right is usually open for debate and whatever. Great, fine, let's have that discussion. But why are you talking about it now? He was talking about Tulsi, how she's unproven, fine, that's fair. But then he's talking about other things about her, like that she might turn on Trump and she's unproven in her loyalty, stuff like this. Okay, all fair, but I don't really care right now. She's the nominee. Trump picked her. I say shut the hell up about it. I say bring that up last month. Bring that up yesterday, not now. I don't want to hear Republicans arguing about this, okay? We have 4 years. 2 if you count congressional elections, okay? Because everybody thinks that, without question, the Democrats are going to come hard as hell in 2026, trying to get the Congress, or trying to get the House back, and in the Senate too if they can. Or no, sorry, just the House, or is it both? I believe it's both. But either way, they're definitely there's a chance they're going to get the House back, and they're going to try. They're going to put a lot of money into it. They're going to do what they can. We only have 2 years. I don't want to hear any disagreements, any type of, and I know that it's coming when Trump makes his like second or third decision, or his third play when he becomes president. There's just going to be blah 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 from all corners of the Republican Party, and I don't want to hear it. I really do not. Just please strap in, put your hands at your sides, keep your hands in at all times, and just shut up, okay? Enjoy the ride. Let him do what he has to do. If he makes mistakes, it'll be on him. I don't want to hear about anybody else's opinions, okay? Like I said, we can have discourse. We can talk about these things. I don't mind talking about Tulsi's loyalty or her, whatever. That's fine, but it's just, why now? I don't want to hear it right now. It's too late for that. The decision's been made. So, like I said, there's going to be a lot of infighting coming from the Republican Party, and I'm predicting that. Just watch. It'll come. And, I mean, I'm going to call it out as much as I can, because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Talk afterwards. The time for talking has passed, or discussing and whatnot. So, I didn't really like his little, his little thing he had to do today. It was on the radio, and he went out there and he had to put it out there that he doesn't trust Tulsi, and there's a lot of people that don't trust Tulsi. Fine, whatever, man. To me, honestly, overall, I think that the cabinet picks, while they do matter, and people are going to argue with me or disagree with me on this, they obviously do matter, but on another hand, like, they don't really matter. And this is why it's crazy to me that Democrats are fighting so hard to get these people, to not be confirmed. And I mean, I get it that the factions don't like each other, and the Republicans tried to fight against judges and Jumanji Brown Jackson, or whatever, Ketanji, Jackson Brown, whatever her name is, Ketanji. They fought against her. Obviously, they're going to try to do that, but like, she's a radical leftist and progressive, and this person is an actual Democrat. It's like, just relax, chill. But they're not gonna chill. They're not gonna relax. Moving on, Pete Hegseth. So Benny Johnson put out this post about his tattoo. Everybody had an uproar about the tattoo. They say it's a Nazi symbol. This is, I mean, people are very ignorant and uneducated. I don't even know how you see this as a Nazi symbol. Maybe if you like connect the dots or something. I don't know. It's not. They're crosses. They're 5 crosses. Keep attacking Christians, morons. So here's like a little explanation. I guess this is the top is Jesus Christ. This is the evangelist Matthew, evangelist Mark, evangelist Luke, and John. And it's a Jerusalem cross. It's in Christianity. And there is a lot of hate towards Christians, and I don't nowadays, and I don't like that. I'm not particularly religious. I don't like, religious hate, especially just when it's like 90, the majority of the country, Christianity. It's a little weird. And then you look at some other countries like the UK and these other places that are getting outnumbered. It's kind of a scary situation, and you should have freedom to, express yourself in your faith, and freedom of religion, and to believe what you want to believe without getting attacked for it. And here's another little quick explanation. Jerusalem cross, known as the Holy Land cross, symbol in the Holy Land, is formed 5 crosses, 4 small ones on each side and big one in the middle. The cross has 2 different symbolisms. One says that the 4 small crosses around the bigger center cross symbolize the 4 Gospels, like I just said, and the center cross symbolizes Jerusalem as the center of the world, where Christianity was spread to the 4 quarters of the world. Okay. Another symbolism to the cross is the 5 wounds of Jesus, 2 in the feet, 2 in the hands, represented 4 small crosses in each quarter, and the wound inside of the heart is presented by the center larger cross. Okay. There's a couple of little symbolisms, but it's obviously a religious cross. It's not a Nazi cross. It's ridiculous. This guy is also extremely credentialed. He fits the standard by which the Democrats always have to hold everybody by, oh, is he educated? He's not, he didn't go to college. Well, actually, he has 2 degrees from Ivy League schools, both different ones. And, I mean, he's very decorated. He's a soldier. He has, I think 2 Bronze Stars. He's retired as a colonel. Just please stop. I think he's going to be great. They just don't like him because Trump picked him, and he was on Fox and Friends. So, he's just a media guy. Get out of here. Okay, and this is him explaining what happened with the cross.
Deemed an extremist because of a tattoo by my National Guard unit in Washington, D.C. And my orders were revoked to guard the Biden inauguration. Jerusalem cross tattoo, which is just a Christian symbol.
Is that
This is the one.
Is that the tattoo?
Yep, right here. This one is what got me disinvited. I'd never had orders revoked before. I mean, listen, it's a standard deal. You remember after January 6th, everyone was in Washington, D.C. Like Nancy Pelosi had the parking garages full of National Guardsmen. My commander called me a day before tepidly and was like, Major, you can just stand down.
This was after January 6th and Biden's inauguration. He was going to be there because I guess he's, part of the military still, whatever. He was going to be on guard for the inauguration. They told him no.
We don't need it. We're good. I'm like, what do you mean? Everybody's there. He's like, no. He couldn't tell me. When I was writing the book, I reached out to somebody in the unit who could confirm with 99.9% certainty because he was in the meetings and on the emails.
I like that little zoom into the book. That's pretty good. This is the Sean Ryan show. Just to give him a shout out. This is a nice little clip from that show.
Nope. Someone inside the DC Guard trolled your social media, found a tattoo, used it as an...
What was that? What is this camera
Someone
work?
inside the DC Guard trolled your social media, found a tattoo, used it as an excuse to call you a white nationalist, an extremist, and you were specifically by name orders revoked to guard the inauguration because you were considered a potential threat.
How is that? It's a cross.
I was...
Great response from, I guess, Sean Ryan. I'm going to give him a follow. He's a former U.S. Navy SEAL, CIA contractor, vigilance elite. Okay, cool. So, but how is that? It's a cross. Yeah, I mean, kind of ridiculous. Oh, and then RFK Jr. also, who I didn't mention, but of course they smear. They don't like him either. I guess there's 4, but like I said, it's really all of them. I just did a search. I just did a search of RFK Jr., okay? RFK Jr., period, search. Let's see what the top articles are. What going wild on health looks like. Okay, not too crazy, but you know that there's some kind of implication there. Wild on health. RFK Jr. AIDS and why the LGBTQ plus community alphabet is in an uproar. Okay, so yeah. Oh, okay. LGBTQ community, which what is even that? Doesn't like him. I guess they're trying to pin them against him. Number 1 hurdle to take on unhealthy food money. Okay, well, whatever. Oh, this is a good one. CNN, they are just so nasty. They've tried to clean up their act, but Jake Tapper, fake Tapper, he is the worst. Little beta male loser. Whiny loser who's just obsessed with TDS. He hates Trump. He hates everything Republican. And yeah, I mean, that's insane. Quote, Jake Tapper reacts to 2020 video of RFK Jr. implying the pandemic, let's see, was planned. Well, they did lie and say it was from bats or something, so it's not that crazy. This was 6 hours ago? Okay. On November 21st. And then former babysitter to RFK Jr.'s kids speaks about sexual assault allegation. So here it comes with the smears. More smears. And here we get to Matt Gaetz. Massive smears. And these are not new, but they're acting like they're new. These happened years ago, and I remember when they happened. They were proven not true. But here they come back just at the right time. And you know what? I'm going to jump to this clip. Where is it? I lost it here. I'm going to jump to this clip. I had it a little bit further down. Anna Polonio Luna. She's great. I love her. She said, this is a smear campaign tied to a $25 million extortion scheme against Matt Gaetz and his father. This baseless smear campaign, frankly, is abhorrent, and it's happening to someone like Matt Gaetz, who has done so much to fight government corruption. I'm just going to play the beginning of this clip.
I've been able to get
Here she is on CNN setting them straight, of course, because this guy's a moron.
First-hand knowledge from the Department of Justice and FBI once they came out and acquitted Gaetz and actually dropped their investigation into him because they found that all those allegations, as you had just stated, were actually unfounded. You know, I really would appreciate it if networks would cover the fact that this was also tied to a $25 million extortion scheme against Matt Gaetz and his father. And to furthermore, you know, I find it interesting that these actual allegations come out at peculiar timing while he's being nominated to be the Attorney General. To be clear, I do think Matt Gaetz is going to be an incredible Attorney General.
Yes, I do too. and he needs to be confirmed. And I want to talk about John Thune, Senator John Thune, who is now the Speaker of the Senate, or leader of the Senate, of majority leader. Sorry, and we didn't want him, but it's him. So I don't think, we already know that he doesn't really like Trump. In the past, he said he didn't really like Trump. He's had, multiple issues with him and with the January 6th and with the supporters. And he's pretending like he's all on board and all that. But I quickly realized this as well with him. I think that he's not going to, because I realized, when I realized that the Democrats were not going to give up on the smears and the trying to halt, stop, or change the nominations, that they were going to go on with it and to make a problem, and then the recess appointments would be necessary. The recess appointments are if the Senate goes into recess or the Congress goes into recess, then the appointments go automatically in. They go straight through, no voting, and Trump can put in whoever he wants. If they give us a problem, that has to happen. It has to happen because, like I said, we have the mandate, popular vote. They're just putting a roadblock up for just to be, pieces of garbage, and try to put a damper on this administration. And it's ridiculous. It hasn't even started yet, and they're already giving all these problems, like I said. And it should be this, just that, hey, we have the power now, and we don't care what you're saying. We don't care what you're trying to do. But the problem is, there's a lot of Republican rhinos. There's a lot of people, Democrats, who are going to vote against this stuff, and they're going to create a problem. It's going to create a problem. And I already see that with Matt Gaetz, it's going to create a problem. So I think that the recess appointments have to happen. I think that Senator Thune, or Majority Leader Thune, I think he's going to pull we have to go by the book, and we can't, do something so terrible and do recess appointments. That's against the rules, or blah, blah. And he's going to pull a BS thing. I mean, why hasn't he come out at all in all of this? It's been a couple weeks now where all these smears are happening. Trump has picked his, chosen his nominees. Why hasn't he come out and said anything? He hasn't said anything. Not that I've seen. Why doesn't he say, I'm all in with Trump's nominees, or I like Matt Gaetz, or you don't even have to say that. Just say, we're going to get these through. Something. But he hasn't said anything from what I've seen, and I don't like this guy. I have a feeling he's gonna be a problem, and he's gonna make this a problem. But all these things are unfounded. All these smears are unfounded, and it's just like Anna Polina said, and I just said it just a second ago. It's just funny, the timing. Just now, it just has to happen and it has to come up. I'm really sick of us reacting to the Democrats' BS and them trying to, throw a wrench in everything. And we have to go, no. I don't care. We don't care. If we have the power, we have to use it. It's unfortunate. I don't want it to be this way. But if you have the power, use it, and that's it. Don't talk to them. Don't, make a case. You can try to do that, but I say just steamroll. It's time to steamroll. I'm tired of it. I don't want to hear this anymore. I don't want to hear any more BS from the Democrats, any more, trying to stop us and put a, slow down anything that we're trying to do. Like I said, we only got 4 years, possibly 2, before things switch over in Congress. And yeah, I mean, for us to already be getting tripped up by nominees and cabinet appointments is just ridiculous. Here's and here's so with Matt Gaetz, The View. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this clip already. It's going viral. Sunny Hostin, who's just trash. She's just always talking, just smearing people and just saying nonsense that's just not true. Here's the clip. Let's just play it.
How could you nominate someone with allegations of child trafficking trafficking across state lines and having sex with a 17-year-old? My understanding, further on in the interview, they discussed the fact that once he finds out that she's 17, he stops having sex with her.
Sonny.
She doesn't even know what she's talking about. She doesn't even have all the facts straight. Obviously these are all brand new allegations to these people, and they don't even know all the facts. They're trying to piece it all together. And then she got handed a lawyer's note on the show and was told to read it off because she had crossed the line, essentially. And this is her setting the record straight, quote unquote.
You have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. She is so nasty. I mean, look at her face. Look at her face here. Look at her face here. You could just see the animosity and the anger on her face to have to tell the truth. She was told to tell the truth, and look at how angry and vindictive she is about it. Okay, no one got this mad to tell the truth ever. I don't think. Like, she's a brat. A lot of these people are brats. They're, echo chamber. They're in their own little bubble, and they've never been told no, or you can't say that. The View is just and they just allow them to say whatever. It's an enabling show, or an enabler show, but they just are unable to go on and on and on and keep going. I mean, you could see it when they have a Republican or somebody on as a guest, and they say something, and they just are so nasty back to them. Like, they say something in retort to something that they said, the Republican, and then they come back with some kind of nasty thing to say back, and it's like, are we having a conversation, or are you just being nasty and trying to, like, control the audience or something? I don't know. But regardless, it's like, you look like a child when you act like this. You're just a brat, like I said, a brat who's never been told no, and to stomp your feet like what are you, 50, 55 or something? And you're stomping your feet over here because you had to tell the truth. Like, pathetic. I mean, we already know The View is pathetic, but they really hate Matt Gaetz, and the fact that they have to be honest about him ever is, it's a soul crushing, apparently. But this guy, I'm not going to say do the whole video, it's pretty long, but Kaizen D. Asiedu. If you want to check it out, he has a pretty good little video. I'm just going to play the beginning. He kind of explains what's going on with Matt Gaetz.
Let's talk about Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is Donald Trump's nominee for Attorney General, and the most controversial of his cabinet picks. Now, if you've been listening to the mainstream media coverage of Matt Gaetz, he sounds like a horrible being.
You heard what Speaker Johnson said about Matt Gaetz. What do you think?
I think he's not only unqualified, he is really disqualified. Are we really going to have an attorney general who there's credible allegations he was involved in child sex trafficking?
It's like
I just want to stop it there for a second. Adam Schiff, one of the worst offenders, Chuck Schumer, and Jamie Raskin, I despise these people. The entitlement that he has getting on this show, like this, you want to see the entitlement that the Democrats have? Watch Adam Schiff, watch Chuck Schumer, watch Jamie Raskin when they go and talk to people, especially their own people, and even when they're talking to the other side. The way that they talk about this stuff, I mean, disqualified? You don't get to make that decision, brother. You're not the one who makes the decision. It gets voted on, first off, and secondly, if a president, it should be that if a president wants a person in there, it shouldn't be a big problem to get that person in there. I mean, I think the Kennedys put their family members in in all their administrations. Nobody complained about that. Well, I don't know if nobody complained about it, but it happened. It went through. So just the entitlement of, I think it's disqualifying, and he's up here saying that, like, basically, like, it can't happen. It can't happen, and obviously we won't let it happen if you even dare. This guy is garbage. I can't.
I think he's not only unqualified, he is really disqualified. Are we really going to have an attorney general?
And then he's going on smearing him, like, with lies. It's all lies. But anyway,
child sex trafficking.
Yeah,
They keep on focusing on allegations that he was involved in child sex trafficking, specifically engaging in sexual acts with a 17-year-old, which, if true, is terrible. However, there are key details about the case that the media keeps on leaving out that I want to share with you.
So he talks more about that. I'm not going to watch the whole thing, like I said. He just kind of mentions how they're just, they're leaving out a lot of points, leaving out a lot of context, and it's mostly just smears. So, again, Kaizen D. Asiedu, good video. Oh, and then here's just a a headline. Matt Gaetz is a vile sex pest, and any senator who votes for him owns that. So this is like a threat. Like, we're gonna know who votes for him, and we're gonna come after you. So this is like a precursor. This guy put this out I guess it's today. I don't know. This is a screenshot, so who knows? And then, I mean, this subtitle, like, what the hell is even that? But this guy, Ben Domenech. I think this is Meghan McCain's husband. This is a freaking soy boy. And he's really inconsequential. I don't really care, who he is. But the point is that he puts this out there. I'm sure he gets a lot of views. And, yeah, here's this guy. And, I mean, look at this line. Let me be clear. Matt Gaetz is a sex trafficking, drug addicted piece of... He is abhorrent. His eyes are permanently rimmed with the... What the hell? I mean, I think this is... You get sued for this, but... Hey, he just outright says he is. Whatever, man. Yeah, here's a little soy boy. And yeah, here's what Nick Sorter. Here's what Donald Trump says. I love that he's backing up his picks. He's like, no, I don't care. He says this is what the radical left lunatics do to people. They dirty them up, they destroy them, and then they spit them out. They are trying that right now with some great American patriots who are only trying to fix the mess that the Democrats have made of our country. We will win, MAGA. All right, let me just rattle off couple names here. Jennifer Granholm, Pete Buttigieg, Janet Yellen, Anthony Blinken, Lloyd Austin, Merrick Garland, Gina Raimondo, Alejandro Mayorkas, Sam Brinton, Karine Jean-Pierre, Admiral Rachel Levine, really aka Richard. These are all picks, and there's more that I just didn't have off the top. There's more. These are all the picks of Biden's cabinet. None of them barely any of them have any credentials. They're a bunch of weirdo, garbage weirdos. And they don't get to complain about our picks or about Trump's picks. I don't think they have any qualification to do it. I don't think they have any standing. But here they are, doing it anyway. And I just want to point out how ridiculous that is. I think that they really should just shut the hell up. But they're not going to. Here's the Anna Paulina video, and then here's Charlie Kirk puts up this video about Senator Tommy Tuberville. This is what he says: threw down the gauntlet, defending by name Matt Gaetz, Pete Hegseth, and RFK Jr. from the Senate floor, all while standing in front of a sign that reads, "Number of Democrats who voted against Biden's 21 cabinet nominees, 0." That's exactly what I was just saying. They all got pushed right in, and these were some of the worst picks I've ever seen. Alejandro Mayorkas, Rachel Levine, the shining example of health. Sam Brinton, who was stealing people's luggage and dressing like a woman as a bald dude with lipstick on, who got fired because of it. Like, you can't get worse. Anthony Blinken, terrible. Janet Yellen and Jennifer Granholm, I mean, two smug, lying bastards who said that we weren't in recession. Please. You don't get to talk. Karine Jean-Pierre, probably the worst press secretary I've ever seen in my life. Definitely the worst, actually. And here's a quick clip of this woman. I'm not even going to... Well,
already sick to death of the smear campaign that is going on with Matt Gaetz clogging up my...
This is a really good video. I'm not going to show it the whole thing, but it's a very good video. It kind of just says the whole thing that I'm saying. I'm tired of it. I don't want this to be a problem. This cannot be a problem. And all the Republicans better get on board because, like I said, with I really like Jonathan Gilliam, but I didn't appreciate his, timing of his question, his queries on Tulsi Gabbard and his speculations or whatever you want to call it, or, his trepidation. And then this guy, this is a good video. He talks about how January, I'm not going to watch this one, the whole thing either. It's just, he talks about, let's just...
That's 177 veterans that were arrested for January 6th. For exercising their First Amendment right, for protesting a clearly manipulated election, some of which weren't even allowed to use their First Amendment right in their court cases as a defense. See this pink one here? That's Ashley Babbitt. She was murdered, along with other J6 protesters. They told you Capitol Police died. No Capitol Police died that day. You know that they hold a nightly vigil outside the D.C. prison for J6ers that were killed and the ones that are incarcerated? You know that Matt Gaetz is one of the only representatives that has shown up to show his respects and listen to the people.
Also, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Who was the guy? I really like him. There's another one. There's a couple others. And Julie Kelly has been amazing. She's not a congresswoman, but she has done great work with the January 6ers. This is, like I've said before, the biggest civil rights travesty, America on its own people since Japanese internment, in my opinion. And they're still in there. It's terrible. I can't, January 20th can't come soon enough. And Matt Gaetz, there needs to be retribution for this. There needs to be people who are a part of the committee who didn't allow video to come out, who didn't allow they didn't allow actual Republicans. They would put rhinos on there, like Liz Cheney, on the committee, and it was not a fair committee. They should redo it. A lot of people are saying that they should just redo it, with actual, both sides. And yeah, this needs to be dealt with 100%, and Matt Gaetz is all in on that, and I love that. And I'm not saying I agree 100% with what this guy's saying, and obviously if you did heinous acts or really big, like felonies or something, you should put in the time for it, or be accounted for it. But at this point, a lot of those, like the worst of the worst, has already been fulfilled in this pre-trial detainment that they've been in. And yeah, all those times should be commutated. Is that the word? And yeah, we need to work on that. And then here's one. Let's see. Oh yeah, one last clip of Matt Gaetz just being a badass. And this was a good one.
The laptop.
Sir, I'm not here to talk about the laptop. I'm here to talk about the FBI cyber program.
You are the assistant director of FBI cyber. I want to know where Hunter Biden's laptop is. Where is it?
Sir, I don't know that answer.
That is astonishing to me. Now, you're telling me right here is that as the assistant director of FBI cyber, you don't know where this is after it was turned over to you 3 years ago.
Yes, sir, that's an accurate statement.
Let's tell you what, Mr. Chairman. I seek unanimous consent to enter into the record of this committee the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop, which I'm in possession of. So where is it?
Oh my, this was when they didn't want anybody to see it, anybody to know about it, and I don't think they knew that he had it. I mean, that is just legendary. You could hear the gasps in the room.
So where is it?
Oh my gosh, he is the man. He's the man. This was from Ashley St. Clair, by the way. Good post by her. And I just want to end with this. This was something that I remember distinctly when it happened. I thought, wow, this is when my first impression of Matt Gaetz was, oh wow, they smear him, they hate him. Everybody hates him. Even a family member of mine, I talked to her about him, and I hate him. Why? Can't tell you. She doesn't really have a good answer for it, but I think a lot of people don't, because they're just being told to hate him. There's a smear campaign hard on him, and that's what happens when you're over the target, when you're effective, when you're doing the right things. That's when they come after you. So they really hate Matt Gaetz. And like I told you, I thought Tom Homan was going to be public enemy number one, and he there may be times where he is still, but I think Matt Gaetz he's in the shadow of Matt Gaetz at this point, because they really, really hate him, and because he's so effective, he's so good. And I mean, he's also a decent person, I believe. Like I said, I changed quickly. I never thought he was bad, but I questioned what was going on, and he quickly became my favorite member of Congress. He still is. And there's a couple of good ones. There's a whole bunch of good ones, actually, particularly on the Republican side. But this one is pretty particularly awesome. So Democrats attacked Matt Gaetz for adopting Cuban immigrants. So this was all during all the smears that were going on. There was Attorney General nominee. Well, this is a now, this is written now recently. Matt Gaetz is being attacked by Democrats after they learned that he unofficially adopted a 12-year-old Cuban immigrant after his mother died. The boy was a relative of a woman Gaetz was dating at the time. So Amuse says, after the boy's mother died, Nestor Galban came to the U.S. in 2014 and lived with Gaetz for 4 years. He then lived with his biological father for a year before moving back in with Gaetz after he turned 18. Galban is now a U.S. citizen. Okay, I am Cuban, and this is, I believe in legal immigration. I believe in the process, of course, and I believe in having cracking down on illegal immigration. But what he did here was an amazing thing for this kid. I mean, he was 12 years old. It's terrible for him, and he took him in, and they actually attacked him for this. They were saying he's weird. He has a weird relationship with a young boy. They were saying all this stuff. And, I mean, we know Matt Gaetz is a representative of Florida. He lives in Florida. And there's a lot of Cubans in Florida, obviously. I have a lot of family there. And I remember thinking, wow, that was so terrible that it's so terrible that they would do that. But, nothing is beneath these people. They're scum. They're slime. They're sewage, really. Trump says they're swamp. They're part of the swamp monsters. They're just sewage monsters, really. They're just nothing good about them. They're from the sewer, underneath the ground, and they lurk, and they come out at night, I guess. But honestly, this is just, one of the things that they don't talk about, and it's actually a good thing, or they do talk about, but they try to pretend like it's a bad thing. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, I want to, get past all this garbage, not care what anybody says. The Democrats can't stop us. We have the mandate. We have the trifecta. And I think all the Republicans really need to grow a pair and step up and realize that, because I don't want to hear any more of this infighting or this, these people, there's going to be rhinos that vote against this, but I really hope that it's minimal and it's just the real rhinos of the muck, of the swamp monsters, the sewage monsters, because if it's not, we're going to find out and we're going to out them. And I have a small media thing, but all the big media guys, we're all gonna do it. So that's about that. Be ready for them to fight to the end, and for this to probably be a problem. But I think it needs to happen. He is the right guy, and we need to do whatever it takes to get him in. And I think Trump will, but we really got to take some of that off of Trump. I think he's got a lot of things he's got to do. He shouldn't be worrying about little things like this. I think the very basics of just his nominations should kind of just go through, and he shouldn't have to worry about it. As in, the congressmen and women should kind of take care of it and not make him have to do it, because I have a feeling he's going to have to come down and do something about this. And if he does, so be it, because this is going to have to happen. And we'll see what happens with Senator Thune, or Majority Leader Thune. So yeah, that's about that. That's about it. Like the video, comment, subscribe, and just because you don't take an interest in the government doesn't mean the government won't take an interest in you. Peace.